Hello there.
I'm Pickle Rick!
Let's do it, guys!
Right.
It's morphin' time!
Avengers! Assemble.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Geek Culture Talk, and today we are reviewing Zack Snyder's Justice League. And of course, you can see it's a different setup today. We don't have a table up here this time around. I just feel like not having a table this time, that kind of stuff for this episode. So yes, but like I said, we're talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League, a 4-hour film I'm going to be reviewing that will be condensed into a hour-long or even under an hour-long video, something that Zack Snyder can't do apparently. But yeah, so Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut, long time coming, this movie, long time, because the first Justice League came out, like, 2017, so this has been 3 years coming now, and it's finally here, and yeah, I don't like it. Oh my god, I'm gonna have so many Snyder Cut enthusiasts ripping me a new one in the comments, but I don't care, whatever. Alright, so to give a quick backstory on my thoughts on Snyder's trilogy of movies he's made in the DC cinematic universe. First off, Man of Steel. I did quite enjoy that one. I thought it was a great new start, like a great new way to take Superman in the films. It was a great new start to him in this series, in this universe. I thought it was a good start. Yeah, there was some problems in. There were things I did not like. So there were several things in that film I didn't like. But overall, I thought it was a very good movie. There were a lot of things I liked. The cast was all fantastic in the movie. Visuals, music. It was a very good movie with some flaws, of course. But I thought it was a very good film. I gave that one a 7 out of 10. Batman v Superman was not a fan of. It was really not. If you want, actually, back when the film came out, I did a review of that film, so I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. I gave that a 3 out of 10 when I first saw the movie. It was, visuals were nice, the music was good also, the cast also great, Ben Affleck was a fantastic Batman, Gal Gadot was a great Wonder Woman, a couple of the other actors. Oh yeah, I should probably also say some of my favorite actors from Man of Steel, I love Henry Cavill as Superman, Amy Adams was great as Lois Lane, and Michael Shannon was great as Zod, and people like Russell Crowe and Lawrence Fishburne were great as Perry White and Jor-El. Russell Crowe actually is my definitive Jor-El. Honestly, every time I hear Russell Crowe as Jor-El, I'm just that's so Jor-El. I don't know. Every time I just hear his voice as that character, I think it's great. Besides that, but Batman v Superman was not great. There was so many problems with that film. It was just very long and almost kind of jumping around a lot. Luthor was awful in it. The Doomsday thing was whatever. They were the nightmares. They were shoving in too much, setting up these other films and killing Superman at the end. It was not a good put together movie. It really wasn't. It was not. And now this film, and then also the theatrical cut, which I did rewatch that a few days before this one came out, just so I can properly compare it to. And look, I'm not one of the people who hates that film. I know there's a lot of people who do, the Snyder Cut enthusiasts hate that film. I don't hate it. It's not one of the worst superhero movies I've seen, or worst movies really. It's average bad. Honestly, I like some things they did do in that one, but yeah, it's not, for the first Justice League film, it's really not what you kind of want. So yeah, there's that. I'm gonna change the camera's position a bit quickly. Alright, that looks better now. Alright, so those are my thoughts on those 3 films. I'm not going to talk about the rest of the DCEU because they're not relevant to this review, but Zack Snyder's Justice League. So like I said, I gave Justice League theatrical cut a 4 out of 10. This one is to give my quick thoughts, like I said, I did not like it. My rating for this one is a 5 out of 10. Oh boy, so I'm definitely going to piss some Snyder Cut fans off. But I don't care, I honestly don't care. Look, here's the thing. I was not one of the people who was come on, we need this cut now. We need it yesterday. We need it now. Give it to us, WB. I was not one of those people who was like, just constantly asking for it, like, because I really did not think it was going to happen, and then, like, they announced it was going to happen, so I'm like, okay, I guess it's happening, but, like, honestly, I did not think it was, like, from the get-go, when it was announced, I did not think it was going to be a good movie, or even a fine movie. I thought it was going to be just still not a good film. I thought it was going to be about the same as Justice League, like, theatrical cut. Probably slightly better than Justice League theatrical cut, because, like, it would be a bit more coherent, because it's, like, it's one director's vision and not, like, two very conflicting visions. But I just didn't think it would be, like, a better film, honestly. I mean, I was curious to see the film because, you know, it's Snyder's, like, his vision, because I do appreciate seeing, like, you know, this was going to be his proper vision, what he imagined for this film, and not what Warner Brothers, you know, like, you know, tossed down the drain, and then had Whedon come in and change it entirely. So, like, I mean, Snyder's a man with a vision. I do appreciate that, like, seeing directors who have visions and having them get into, like, you know, properly fulfill what they want to see come on screen. Like, it's the same thing with George Lucas. Like, I'm not a fan of the Star Wars prequels. I don't like them, but I do appreciate that those three films were, like, his idea, like, what he wanted to do, like, that's his vision he wanted to see come to life, and he got them. I don't think they're good, but I'm just saying I appreciate that was his vision. Same thing with Snyder here. But again, I didn't think it was going to be good. And the film comes out, 4-hour movie, like, my god, it's way too long. I first off don't understand, because Warner would have had him, like, cut the movie down before they released it, because there's no way they would have let a 4-hour film slide. They would have had him cut it down to, like, 2 hours, or maybe, like, 2.5 hours, but, like, nothing farther than that, honestly. Like, but I'm honestly watching this, I don't know how, like, he could have, like, what was the plan of how he was going to cut it down originally when he was making the movie originally, because, like, how would it have worked? Because there's so much here that is important to the story, like, a lot setting up the story and, like, backstory and character origins and details. Like, I really can't see how he would have cut this down to fit in a certain runtime. Like, it's, so honestly, you kind of do need to have a 4-hour cut, and I guess, you know, it's Snyder cut. You've been asking for 3 years, so if it's not 4 hours, then what even is it worth it? So it makes sense. Another thing also is, like, it's also shot in that weird box format, which I thought was just some kind of weird strategy for the trailers, but apparently it's not. It was for the actual movie. It was going to look like that, which, you know, honestly, when I first started watching it, like, after a while, it didn't become too distracting. Like, after a while, I didn't really notice it that much, like, honestly, but even still, it's just weird to release a film, like, a major film like that, in that box kind of format. Like, I don't know, like, why it's just super, I don't know. But down to the actual film itself. So, of course, the film is a drastically different movie from, you know, the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut was more in line with, like, what you kind of expect in the Avengers. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to emulate the Avengers. That's the word I'm trying to look for, which makes sense why they got Whedon on board. And it did not really work. I mean, you can definitely see the Avengers level kind of feels they had that was in that movie with some of the music and, like, the brighter colors and such, and the funny jokes all the time. In that movie. But, like, this is more, like, in line with what Snyder, like, a more, like, dark, grim, depressing, very grand scale kind of movie. It's more in line with those films, so, yeah. And, like, it's major different. Like, there's so many things different about it, because we get all the Just Leaguers get their backstories explained. You know, Steppenwolf has a different, his plan, like, his whole backstory behind why he's doing this is different. Of course, other things like Darkseid's here now this time around. There's so much happening. Honestly, it's crazy. So, and I did take some notes down, which I'm not because, like, 4 hours, you need to take some notes down. Like, I'm not sure if I want to talk about any one of them right yet. One thing I will say, as per my notes, is that I don't think, like, look, everyone ripped on the CGI and special effects in the first one. Yeah, they're bad. In the first movie, there's a lot of green screening that's awful. Henry Cavill's CGI upper lip, not good. A lot of things are not great in that film. It is good here. It's better here in this film, but it's not great, though, a lot of times, though. Like, I wrote down specific scenes from the movie, like, I thought did not have great green screen. Like, there's at one point on Themyscira, it's a scene when, like, all the Amazons are charging on horses at Steppenwolf, and the green screen at one point in one shot of one of them like turning around to look at her sister and scream like forward or whatever she shouted. Like it didn't look, the green screen looked kind of just looked fake there. There's not a green screen at one point when Cyborg's in his mind, when he's first like inside his mind, and like it didn't look great there either. And so that was one thing I thought was like weird. The special effects were not great at times, and man, I honestly don't know where to begin with this film. This is cause it's so long. It's such a just like everywhere kind of place movie. It's so I don't know where to really properly begin with this film. Because, okay, one thing I'll say off the back, I guess, to really probably get this going is that, like I said, we get more detailed explanations and origins to our three new characters of the film, which were Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman, which that's good, but here's my problem. Like this, because 4 hours, and a lot of it's dedicated to help early on to explaining who these characters are, like giving Cyborg his origin, like he had Cyborg had a lot of stuff that was cut out of the theatrical cut. It's all that back here. We get some more stuff added back in with Aquaman. I don't think, not too much, but he gets some more stuff added in, and Flash gets some more stuff added also. And this is my thing though, and like I'm not trying to compare it to Marvel, but like I'm not saying like DC should do everything like Marvel, because like do your own thing, and they have had some great success doing their own thing. Like look at the Joker film; it's like very successful. It's a very different kind of thing. Like I'm not saying they should do everything like Marvel, but the thing is, you can't deny the reason why the Avengers worked, like that, the first Avengers, is because they had all these separate films prior that developed and explained these characters, their backstories and whatnot. And all we had prior to this was Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and Wonder Woman. That was it. But like we don't have any other films to explain who these guys are. Like they only have brief cameos in like Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad. And by the time we get to this film, like we have to set up all their characters, and like here it works, I guess. But like, that's my thing. I don't want to like. That's my problem. Like you have to spend so much time in the movie dedicated to explain who all these people are. Whereas in the Avengers, like you didn't have to. You just jump right into it, and you already know who they are. I'm not trying to say they need to be like the Avengers. I'm just saying there's a reason why that strategy worked. Because then we didn't have to waste like an hour or so of the movie just developing the characters. We already know who they are. Like, and I just didn't want to, like, I would not have wanted that. I just don't like how it's waste so much time just first setting up these characters like that. Because, like, I mean, it's good we have more set up for the characters and origins out of the way explained. But still, it's like, there's that thing. What was I just about to say? There's something I was about to say about something. Damn it. Crap. Oh yeah, one thing about Aquaman, his whole new introduction scene, it explained better more why Batman's all of a sudden like on a horseback riding the mountains in the snow. Because in the theatrical cut, it makes no sense. Because we cut to Batman in the opening, he's fighting a guy on top of a roof that fights a parademon. Next we know, we got a full beard crossing like the frozen like lands, like, and there's like, what the hell happened here? And why don't you use your bat plane to like find him? This they explain it like that. This literally after Superman dies, this is like kind of the first thing he kind of does, searching for Aquaman across these icy lands. And they also explain that the storms here are very rough, so no plane could really get through here, so that explains that. But yeah, there's also the opening of the film is, I think, really stupid. I think it's really dumb. Like it's Doomsday kills Superman. That's where it starts, and we see as Superman dies, he lets out these sonic boom, these sonic wave screams, and like that just spread across the globe and reach all of the mother boxes and activate them, signaling that Superman's dead. So come to Earth and collect the mother boxes now. So like, but I also, when I saw that, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me here. What is this nonsense? Like, really, he lets out sonic screams. What is that even a thing Superman could do? Like, I don't know, it's like, and they emanate like across the globe. Like it's so dumb to me. It was really ridiculous. I don't know. Like, I have no idea really where to go with this film. There's like 4 hours. It's so scattered. Let me look at what else I put in my notes and some things. What are some other things? Oh yeah. So I'll talk about all the. Okay, so I guess I'll talk about all the characters, like their individual origins, sort of, off the bat. So everything with Cyborg. So Cyborg gets a lot of. His character's fixed a lot in this film. Like he's not so much like, just bland and not really interesting. We get his origin and stuff, and there's some great scenes with him and showing him learning his abilities and such, and like, it's really good, and Ray Fisher does a good job of portraying Cyborg. It's really great in the film, and so that's great, so I like seeing all that. I think he does benefit a lot from this 4-hour cut of Justice League. And you have Flash in their hands. So Flash was the major thing in the theatrical cut I did not like. I was already not a fan of the casting of Ezra Miller. Like, I just thought, really, this is going to be our Barry Allen? Like, I quite like Grant Gustin on the Flash TV show. I think he's, like, for me, he's my definitive Barry Allen. So, but, like, I don't know. In Justice League, I was like, I don't know. Like, all his comedy in Justice League was, like, so dumb. Which, of course, all his comedy was, like, derived from Whedon coming in saying, alright, I'll put some more needed comedy in this film, like, stuff like, what is brunch? Like, you stand in line for, like, hours, wait in line for essentially, like, lunch. Like, God. And he's not as bad in this one compared to the theatrical cut. He's more tolerable. He's not, like, just being ridiculous half time. There are still, like, lines, like, there's, like, some lines I think are fine. They're kind of fun. Like, when he meets Batman, when he says, stop right there, I'm in, and you're like, you are? He's like, yeah, I need friends. Like, I think that's a funny line. That's nice. Which, like, there's still some lines here also. Speaking of that, there's lines here I thought were for sure Whedon edition, but they're Snyder's, actually. There's one line when Superman first wakes up and, like, and comes back to life, and Lois and him then go back to, you know, his house in Smallville. Like, there's a line there in the theatrical cut where Lois says, you smell good, and then Superman's like, did I not before? Like, it's such a very weird line, like, really, that's the first thing that's said when you come back from the dead? And I thought that was a Whedon line, but it's not, it's a Snyder line. I'm like, really? This is Snyder's line? I don't quite get that. I mean, I don't know. Flash's whole introduction scene is ridiculous. So, like, his whole introduction scene involves him, like, trying to get a job at this, like, pet place. And also we meet Iris West, her scene is finally restored to the movie. And at some point, this car crash, a truck crashed into her car and sends her flying. So now Flash has to, like, now quickly speed out and catch her before, like, you know, she dies and such. The scene's really kind of dumb because, like, Barry running out the store, like, it's like, I don't know why this Flash can't run properly. Like, every time, like, you've all seen him run. He either runs like this, sways his arms up, like it's really ridiculous. This time around, like, he looks like, I'll play a clip of him running, because he runs like this, like he's like tiptoeing out of the room. I'm like, what are you doing, guy? Like, can you not run, like, properly at all? And then when he sees Iris, like, that whole scene with Iris is stupid, because, like, he goes to Iris, first off, Iris, like, when she first starts getting flung out of the car, she has a surprised look on her face, like, ah, but then as she's, like, already in midair, she just has a blank expression on her face. She's just like, I'm just like, what? You're telling me you are just, like, stone-faced, not giving a care as you're about to, like, crack your head on the pavement. Like, no, she would be still screaming, wouldn't she? Why is she just so blank expressionist? And Barry, here's Barry, of course, that, like, thinking she's cute. He's, like, just being a little bit of guy, like, as he's taking his time, you know, runs up to her and, like, kind of just, like, gently caresses the side of her face with his fingers. And I'm kind of just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, she's gonna die. You can't just be wasting time like this. Like, I know he's the Flash. He can waste time. He's, like, because he runs fast and slows down time. But he can't just waste time like this. Like, what's he doing? Like, it's... And also, she's not fazed at all by this strange man who can run fast that she saw in the store a second ago. He's now just catches her and save her. She doesn't question that at all after he saves her. She kind of just looks at him, kind of like smiles, like, huh. And I'm like, you're not gonna question that at all? Like, whole scene's kind of dumb with Barry. There's even other stuff later on. Like I said, he's tolerable more, but he's still, like, there's still stuff I don't like. Like, he still makes jokes. There's that one joke I hate that I thought was a Whedon joke also, when they're on top of of GCPD and all the others leave except him, and he's like, oh, they really just vanish. Yeah, that's kind of rude. Then he leaves afterwards, which I'm like, that's Snyder's line too? That sounds more like Whedon's line. But whatever. But as he's running, no, what was it? Yeah, in the final battle, like, when he's... Part of the final battle requires Cyborg to link into the mother boxes to separate them from stopping them from creating the Unity. And he needs Barry's help. He needs to send a big electric charge in the Cyborg to help him get inside the system of the mother box. So Barry, for the fight, he has to run around the whole area for a while building up a charge, and he waits for, Cyborg to give him the word saying, hey, so just tell me when. And he keeps running for a while. At some point, a parademon does shoot at him, and he finally gets knocked down. He loses the charge and such. And Batman calls him saying, Barry, you alright? And Barry literally, he's like, oh my god. He's just like, I just got the wind knocked at me any minute. I'm like, oh my god, guy, man up. Like, holy.
Barry. I got the wind knocked out of me. Need a few seconds, that's all.
Like, he whines like a little baby. Like, I'm like, I see the wind knocked at me. I need a minute. I'm like, dude, like, why is it a baby? Like, oh my god. Like, man the hell up. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, oh my god. And, I mean, it does lead to, afterwards, of course, I'll get into the plot point here, because the thing with the mother box is that the 3 mother boxes need to sync up and form a unity, which when they do that, it will spread this like wave across the planet and engulfs it in fire, creating a new apocalypse or whatnot. And it kills everyone, and actually, because Barry, of course, loses his charge, he's not in time, so it does go off at first and kills everyone, including the whole Justice League, so Superman dies as well. But Barry, using the Speed Force, he managed to, like, freeze himself in that moment and doesn't die, and uses time travel. And in that moment he says how, like, earlier on in the film, he says he doesn't like running way too fast, otherwise he might break time rules, and he doesn't like doing that, it might cause problems. But in that moment he's like, okay, no, I gotta run faster than the speed of light, Barry, far beyond the speed of light, and go. I'll admit, like, I'm not a fan of this version of Flash, but like, the scene of him running, and like, as time reverses backwards and the ground forms around his feet as he runs, that's a pretty cool scene, I will admit that. Then also Aquaman, there's not really much different with Aquaman in this movie, honestly, it's really not. Like, the most major difference to all his scenes is that now we have the re-edition of Vulko, who he was, of course, Willem Dafoe was cast as Vulko for this film originally, but they cut out all his scenes. But now he's back, so he's here. And he originally had long hair, which does not have an Aquaman, which they were probably like an Aquaman. Let's cut his hair, so we don't have to CGI that hair all the time in the water too. Oh yeah, no, that's another thing I hate about the whole Aquaman. So like, of course, the theatrical cut, we learned that Aquaman and Mera, they have to go into this air bubble underwater to communicate, which was really dumb. Like, and Mr. Sunday Movies put it best on his Caravan of Garbage when he talked about Justice League theatrical cut, and I actually believed him. I'm like, he thought that maybe that air bubble scene in the theatrical cut was a reshoot that Whedon did to like save time on like special effects, because if they had a scene of them talking underwater, they would have to CGI all their hair and stuff, because they did that for Aquaman. So I thought, that makes sense, maybe that's true. Nope, this is just a thing in Snyder's cut, but we see it like 5 times in the movie. And I'm like, okay, Snyder, you know how problematic this is. Like, you're telling me the entire speed, they have lived underwater for centuries. And you're telling me that they cannot properly communicate underwater. They have to always make air, every time they need to talk, they have to create a freaking air bubble to talk. Like, do you know how problematic that is for their society? That they have to do that? Like, seriously, like, you're talking underwater, okay, here's a strategy to how to defeat the bad guy. Out of nowhere, stab! Oh, sorry, you guys weren't paying attention because you were in your stupid air bubble. Oh, I killed you. You're done. Like, you know how problematic that shit is? Like, it's like, I don't know. There's a reason why in the Aquaman movie they ignored that entirely, because it's a stupid thing. Could you imagine the Aquaman film, which was like a 2.5-hour film, like, every, like, 10 or 5... even a minute maybe, they just kept going through an air bubble and talking. Alright, so what's the plan to defeat Ocean Master? Oh, so we're gonna do a Black Manta. Oh, yeah, it's like no, that would be so annoying and dumb. Like, it's, and again, still, the underwater fight's not interesting. It still looks like crap. Like, so, honestly, they do so many things better with Aquaman in the Aquaman movie. Like, it just, but yeah, what else? I guess I should now talk about also our main villain of the film, our villains of the film, like Steppenwolf. So, of course, Steppenwolf gets a whole major redesign here from the theatrical cut. Of course, theatrical cut Steppenwolf was bad. Like, I mean, like, it's not one of the worst designs I've ever seen. but it's very generic looking. It's super just generic, like just like a plain like white face with like bland armor, a bland horn helmet, and like just a big axe. Like that's his design. It was very just lame looking. It was nothing interesting looking. It was not unique looking at all. Compared to now Snyder's Steppenwolf, much more unique. He's like this like demon creature with like massive like horns on, like he doesn't have a helmet with horns. He just has like actual horns, like part of his head actually, and they're just like massive and stuff. And he has this like black armor that's like spiky, like the spikes kind of like move and stuff, where they like spike up times, time to like go come back down, and the armor can like kind of like, I don't know what's the word looking for, like kind of like disintegrates around him. Like if he wants to take it off at time, they'll kind of just like unform around him and stuff. So like it's a much more unique design. I still don't think it looks great. Like I don't know. It's better than the Whedon cut version, but I still don't think it's a great design. It's just kind of like still kind of weirdish. Like I mean, there's memes online now about Steppenwolf's face because like he has all these like puppy dog looking eyes in the movie at points. And there's memes online of that. So I'm like, yeah, because it looks kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's a better design, but still. And there's another thing. One of my notes also says about how there's a scene when he's fighting the Amazons on Themyscira, where at some point at one point you see him throw an Amazon off him and just throw it to the side. The next shot immediately afterwards, you see like you see Amazons charging at him when he does that, but then cut to the very next shot, literally the next shot, they're now already like trampling him. I'm like, what? How did we get from point A to point C? Like there was like all we saw was him charging, but now they're on top of him. Like what? We never saw him actually jump him. Like I don't know. And of course we also learned that, unlike in the theatrical cut where he's all about like he just wants to take over the world for Darkseid. Now it's more like it's a punishment because he was banished from Apocalypse years ago, centuries ago, and for something he did, and he has to as punishment he has to like claim 50,000 worlds for Darkseid. They never explain also why he was banished. Maybe they did. Excuse me. Maybe they did, but I missed it. But I don't remember once them ever saying like why he was banished. It's I don't know. It's dumb. And of course, Darkseid's here and the Sod's here, and also Granny Goodness. Now, Darkseid, he looked pretty cool. I will admit he did look pretty cool. Voice, not bad. The Sod also looked pretty cool too. And then Granny Goodness is here for no reason. Like literally, she's there. She stands there like covered in shadow almost the entire time and does nothing. Doesn't get a single line in. Like, what was the point of adding Granny Goodness in if she does nothing? Like, what's the point? This is one of my major problems actually about this film. Like, I'm jumping around so many things at this point now. I know, I'm sorry, but like, it's a long film. I don't care. I'm just gonna jump around and stuff. Like, a major thing I have with this film is that Snyder likes to throw in crap in this movie that is pointless. It feels like it's just there for like fan service kind of things. Like, oh, we got her, we got him, and we got this thing here too. But it adds to nothing. Like, Iris West, tell me why. What's her purpose in the film? She serves no purpose. She really does not. She has one scene. She's never mentioned again or brought up again. She has no purpose. Really, she has no purpose at all. Like, honestly, you could have honestly had any random person be in that scene where Iris was. You could have swapped her out with some random guy named Joe, like, or Stephanie, like, any random person, because she adds nothing to this film. It honestly feels pointless having Iris here. And there's other things also, like, of course, major thing that was added back in this film was Martian Manhunter. Like, of course, Snyder revealed, like, we all knew this going into the film that Martian Manhunter was going to be in the film. Snyder revealed, prior to the Snyder Cut being announced, Snyder revealed that the character of General Swanswick, played by Henry Lennox from Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, he was actually Martian Manhunter the whole time. And I'll admit, like, when I saw Martian Manhunter, his face it did take some time to get used to. I was like, okay, it's a bit unique, but like, I did take some time to get used to. By the end of the film, I was used to it. And when I heard him speak as Martian Manhunter, I'm like, okay, you know what? That's Martian Manhunter. That's a great voice there. It works perfectly. So I do like that casting. But like, he feels pointless. Like, if he does nothing in the film. Like, he's there to give like Lois a pep talk as Martha, and then at the end of the film talking to Bruce Wayne, quickly saying, "I'm here to help you when they come back for the sequel," which we're not getting a sequel. But, like, he's pointless. Like, if you have Martian Manhunter in the film, have him do shit. Like, don't have him just sit around. Like, I hate his explanation that, well, I don't mind that Lennox is, like, that they made, not Lennox, sorry, that's the actor's name. I don't mind that General Swanswick is Martian Man. I think that's an interesting idea that he is this high-ranking general in the military. That's an interesting idea. Like, oh, where could this go exactly? But, like, I'm sorry, you need to give me a better reason why he did not help out during Man of Steel when Zod invaded. He did not help out during Batman v Superman when Doomsday was ripping apart the city. And why he's not helping out. Like, at the end of the film he says, I'm here to help. Where were you helping during Steppenwolf's attack, like, invasion? Like, where were you? You could have helped majorly. Like, while, like, here's Cyborg trying to dismantle, like, the Unity, take them apart, and while Aquaman and Wonder Woman are trying to fend him off by themselves, and without Superman at first, like, he could have helped out majorly then. Like, no, but I'm like, he could have helped taking out the turrets with Batman so that they take down Flash very quickly. Like, I don't know. I'm out of breath right now. Jeez, I need water. Like, there's no good reason this man does not help out in the movie. And other things, also, because there's other things. Like I said, Granny Goodness, no, I already touched on that, didn't I? Yeah, she's pointless. Other things also, the movie ends, because there's 6 parts, it's divided into 6 parts, and an epilogue. The epilogue shows what everyone's doing now post the big battle. We see Batman in Gotham, and, like, he's in a junkyard, standing on top of the Dark Knight Returns Batmobile with some mutants from that book tied up next to it as homage to that comic. It's there for just fan service thing. It's just like, hey, look, Dark Knight Returns Batmobile. See? Dark Knight Returns. Like, no, dude, like, come on. I don't... Okay, Snyder, tell me this. Like, if Batman has this massive tank, this humongous tank, why was he not using it during the Battle of Steppenwolf? Like, seriously, he brings his regular-sized, dinky Batmobile when he has this monster truck bigger than double the size of a monster truck. Like, and he does not use that. I'm sure that'd be, like, 10 times more helpful than his Batmobile did not last long in the fight. Why was this beast of a car not there? Like, I don't know. It's so dumb. It's there for fan service, and, like, it's cool seeing it in live action, but it plays no point. There's no part of it. And apparently also, they legitimately were mutants that were there tied up in that scene. Why are you throwing the mutants all, like, why have the mutants who were integral villains to this massive storyline, why have them just there as just, like, thugs? Like, oh, here they are. Like, great. Thanks, man. And, like, also, there's, like, another one. So, Green Lantern. So, of course, theatrical cut, we got a random alien Green Lantern. He does have a name. I'll put it here in the video. He does have a name, but, like, so, and, of course, we saw him in the theatrical cut. He gets killed very quickly. He was part of that big flashback sequence where all the gods, like, the mortals and, like, the Atlanteans, Amazons, they were all fighting Darkseid's enemies. Well, back in the theatrical cut, Steppenwolf and his armies. This time, it's Darkseid and his armies. So we see him this time around, and he gets murdered, and so that's the end of that. But then, of course, also another point when Cyborg's first interfacing with the Kryptonian ship, he gets a vision of the nightmare future, which I'm like, okay, how is he getting this vision? It's not really explained how he's seeing this. Like, I don't know. And in this vision, we see a few more new things, like, we see Darkseid's Omega Beams, which was cool. That was a nice thing to see. We see Wonder Woman's dead, and we see, like, this shot, of course, we saw in the trailer of, like, the Hall of Justice, like, kind of just destroyed and shattered, like, Aquaman's trident there, and a Joker card flying in the wind, and Superman's flying above there in his like, suit, like, holding Batman's cowl. But in that rubble, you see a dead Green Lantern, which I'm like, okay, and it was later confirmed on the DC Comics website that this dead Green Lantern was Kilowog. Like, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. Like, okay, this random Green Lantern who apparently is a character in the comics, but no one knows who he is, so he's not important. But Kilowog! Like, you're gonna disrespect Kilowog. Like, what the hell? Why are you having Kilowog there? Like, just as dead. Like, why is this? He's just there dead. On the ground dead. And why is he wearing a mask? Like, seriously, that's why I didn't think it was Kilowog at first. I'm like, no, Kilowog doesn't wear a mask. Like, apparently it was him. Like, what the hell is the point of that? Like, I don't get it. And, like, I thought for certain, like, this was all leading up. Like, I thought for certain we were going to see, like, one of the major ones, like, these two teases was going to lead to a major, like either Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart were going to appear at the end of the film as a cameo, because Snyder said there's a big cameo at the end of the movie. Like, I'll find the article and take a picture and put it in the video, but he said that. And the big cameo was Martian Manhunter, which is not a big surprise. We knew he was in the movie. Like, so you can't say, oh, big character showing up at the end when it's a character we already know is in the movie. And we saw him earlier. It's not surprising. Like, God damn it. Why did you do this to me, Snyder? Like, WandaVision already, like, screwed us saying, oh, big character show up in WandaVision when there's no major character shown in WandaVision. So, like, why are you doing this to me, man? Like, you can't do this to me. Apparently, DC, he wanted to shoot, apparently he actually did shoot, or I don't know. I'll leave a video or some Snyder explain it in the editing. But, like, apparently he wanted to have a Green Lantern. He apparently did have plans to have Jon Stewart and another Green Lantern, so possibly Hal Jordan. And he was saying that, you know, he was going to try and get Ryan Reynolds back. So, you know, but DC said, nope, you can't put Green Lanterns at the end of the movie. Nope, not happening. So it was never filmed apparently, as far as I know. But he said he had an actor cast, so I don't know if it was filmed or not. So if it was filmed, I bet you DC was still probably like, you still can't have it in your movie, even though this is your cut. So I don't know. But so so that sucks. We could have potentially had Ryan Reynolds back as Green Lantern. What a shame that was. Because I would have loved to see Ryan Reynolds just show up wearing a motion capture suit, wearing a ring, saying, "I'm Green Lantern. I know you can't tell it, but I am Green Lantern." Like, God damn it. On a more fun note, Ryan Reynolds in celebration of the Snyder Cut was watching Green Lantern for the first time in like 10 years, and he was live tweeting the whole time. There's a funny video of him like just taking a big shot of alcohol. Like, oh my god. Funny. That was funny. But yeah, so whatever. Like how can you just? Anyways, Kilowog. Why have Kilowog dead there? Like, silly. Like, it's, I don't know. Let's talk about the nightmare sequence also. So, of course, there was a big. Like, so I thought the nightmare sequence was gonna happen somewhere in the middle of the movie. Like, at one point, Batman talks about how he told Wonder Woman how he had a dream, and he saw Barry Allen was standing right here telling him that Lois Lane's the key. So I thought, oh, so we're gonna cut to that nightmare sequence now? Nope, it's tied right at the end of the movie as part of the epilogue. So I'm like, this feels unbelievably forced in the movie. Like, it just feels like so tacked on. Like, and of course, nightmare sequence we see Nightmare Batman, we see future versions of Cyborg and Mara and Flash and Deathstroke with a Mohawk, and of course, the Joker. Of course, there's a whole new sequence they shot for the Snyder Cut just recently to just purely so they can have a scene of Ben Affleck's Batman and Jared Leto's Joker interacting. And on that level alone, that's great seeing them finally interact. But I know a lot of people love this scene, like saying this is one of the best scenes in the movie. I don't. Like, I mean, okay, first off, they're not technically in the same scene because, you know, for reasons they had to get this scene shot fast. Their schedules didn't align, so they had to, like, they shot it in a very, like, creative way where it looks like they are in the same room together, but they're not. They never look each other. Excuse me. They never look each other in the eye once they're in the scene because they're not in the same room, but it still works. You still believe they're there. But still, I don't know. Like, like, look, he's better in this than Suicide Squad. He acts more like traditional Joker, not like your weird gangster Joker who has all the stupid tattoos. Like, all the tattoos were gone, so that's like a great 10 out of 10 thing right there. But why is his teeth just black? Like, why are they just like these stained black teeth? Like I don't know. Like, oh man, I don't know. It's very weird. But like, I just don't like Jared Leto's Joker. I don't know. I just don't like him as Joker. I don't know what it is. It's like his voice. I just can't hear that voice as Joker. It's not a voice. I mean, which is weird. I've heard you hear other Joker voices like Mark Hamill or Jack Nicholson or Heath Ledger, or even other ones like Troy Baker and John DiMaggio. Like, these are all voices when you hear them, you're like, that's Joker. Even like Joaquin Phoenix. Like, when I first heard his voice, I'm like, all right, it's not really a Joker voice. But after watching the film, I'm like, all right, yeah, that really works. Joker, his voice fits well for this Joker. But like, I don't know, Leto just doesn't sound like a Joker to me. And another thing, Leto still can't do a laugh worth for shit. Like, seriously, what's wrong with this man? He has a second chance, and he still does a laugh it's not the same, not quite the same as his Suicide Squad laugh, where it's like, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like I don't know, it's something similar, but it's still not good. Like, how can this man not, Leto, you need to do research more on this laugh. Like, how have we had, like, we've had so many people prior do fantastic Joker laughs. We've had and 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 also and even just recently. And yet, you give like, I don't know how hard, like, even Cameron Monaghan, who plays Joker or Jerome or Jeremiah on Gotham, I don't know what the hell that character was. Like, he's Cameron Monaghan, who plays Joker on Gotham. Like, I'm not a fan of that interpretation of Joker on that show. But even, I can't lie though, his laugh is great. Like, it worked. It sounds like a Joker laugh. Like, his performance, not a fan of the interpretation. His performance is good though. But why can't you do a good laugh, Leto? Like, why is all your laughs always just like, eh? Like, why it always, like, has to be like big and like bombastic? Like, ha 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 ha! Like, you're not like that. I don't know why. Man, what else? What are some of my notes? Also, I haven't been looking at them a lot lately. Just to go through a couple of my other random notes I put on here of just random stuff. When Batman and Flash first meet, there's these weird sounds that play in the background. When they meet, they're really stupid. During a scene when Cyborg's watching some kids on the street play football, like they're in slow-mo for some reason, and also Barry petting a dog when he sees Iris is also in slow-mo, like for no reason. Oh yeah, it's never explained how the rubble rises around Superman, because of course Batman v Superman is grave, you see rubble rise from his coffin at the very end. When he takes flight after he gets his black suit, like you see the rubble rise around his hand, it's still never explained, like I don't know. Also, there's one point where Steppenwolf talks to Diana about how he killed her mom. Of course, he didn't actually kill her mom, but he's like just like kind of like messing with her head, saying, "Oh, I killed your mother, Hippolyta." But there's no way he should know that. There's no point in the film that he ever should know that. Like, I don't know. Barry's lightning in one shot is also really annoying, which is when he's like just zipping around the staircase thing. It looks really annoying. That's all my notes. I've already mentioned my other notes prior in parts of the video. I don't know what else to talk about. The past sequence where like all the gods and like mortals and Atlanteans and Amazon, it's a good fight scene, I guess. Oh yeah, films also R-rated, so there's a lot more blood and gore, which like, I guess there was a part on Themyscira when he like slashes Amazon's throat and you see how blood geysers come out. But there's another point when like you saw in the theatrical cover an Amazon like fires a bow and arrow that's attached to the mother box and sends it flying across the field. And you see Steppenwolf like come at her and just like slam his axe down on her to cut her in half. But they cut away before they show that, and I'm like, bro, why can't you show that? Like, later on in the film, you show an Atlantean getting cut in half, but you can't show her getting cut in half. Oh yeah, there's another point also when he throws the Atlantean up against a big boulder, and you see a big blood smear on the back of the rock, so that clearly comes from the back of his head, and he's still fine. He's still talking fine. He's like moving fine. I'm like, okay, you clearly took a major hit in the back of your freaking head, man. Your blood came out. A mass amount of blood came out. How are you communicating still? Like, I don't... oh my god.
You're the Batman? That feels like an oversimplification. Stop right there. I'm in.
You are? Just like that.
what else is in this film? Like, oh yeah, Ryan Choi is also in the film, who's the second version of the Atom in the comics. You know, I was fine with that. I'm like, yeah, 'cause that's a nice little, like, thing to have there. There were apparently plans for an Atom spin-off film. I'm like, okay. Silas Stone has a bigger role in this film now. He also dies, which, I'm sorry, maybe you can explain this to me. I don't see why he had to die. Like, I mean, probably, it doesn't have to do with Cyborg's story. But why did he have to die? Like, I don't see the reason why he had to, because he locked himself in this room so he can superheat the mother box so that the others can track it later on, and in the process, radiation burns him alive and kills him. Well, why did he have to lock himself in the room? He could have stood outside the room and still done it. Like, give me a good reason why he had to stand in the room to, like, sacrifice himself. There's no reason. Like, I don't see why. There's other stuff also, like, what was I about to say also now? Something else about Silas or something. Oh yeah, the Justice League in this film, they explain they have to, of course, in both films, they have to break into the facility to get into the Kryptonian ship. But this film is only when they do break in, they run to Silas' dad, because they fake a meltdown saying, oh, there's a contamination leak, everyone, Van Moose, scram. But Silas is like, no, that's not right, why it seems super false. And he proves it's false, and starts about to go tell people saying, no, it's false. But then he sees Victor and the rest of the league come in to do something whatnot. And he realizes, okay, actually, you know what, never mind. Okay, no, actually, I was wrong, it was a thing, so, like, he's covering for them so they can stay in there. But honestly, I'm like, dude, if you're... Because Cyborg, you're cool with your dad by this point, you saved him and said, no, you're my dad, of course I'm going to save you. Like, you were cool with him by that point after saving him. So, like, why couldn't you have contacted him saying, hey, we need to get into the Kryptonian ship to possibly revive Superman? Like, what was so hard about that? I don't see what the problem would that been. I don't know. It's... Have I talked about everything? I think I have. I don't know. Man, what else have I missed? Talk about some good things in the film, I guess, quickly. Because I might end this soon. I really have no idea what else to talk about. 4 hours, it's a lot movie. There's other stuff like, of course, the score is way better. You know, it's much more grand and epic. Fits better with the tone. The performances are all great, you know, everyone does a great job in the film. You know, Henry Cavill does a great job, Ben Affleck does great, Gal Gadot, Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, even Ezra Miller does some good stuff too. Like, you know, all the performances are great. I love seeing Ben Affleck's Batman more in line with previous Batman, and it's great. There is, like, some proper, like, of course, and Justice League was very jarring how quickly he's like, oh no, we need Superman, we need to bring him back. There's also no argument between the team about whether or not they should bring him back, where it was no, there's no argument between him and Wonder Woman whether or not they should bring him back. And like in the theatrical cut, it's not in this one. It's also different. In this film, he actually feels like he owes it more to Superman because he like was fighting too much when they should be together and united. And at that point also, it's not so much like he's saying, I suck at being a leader, we should have Superman instead be a leader. It's more so like he has faith that's about Superman and stuff, and they also explain that, you know, the parademons and Apocalypse and Steppenwolf, they were scared of Superman, that's why they waited so long to come back. It's why they waited for him to be dead to come back to their mother boxes and such. So that makes more sense. But how him activating the mother boxes by his sonic scream is still stupid. Batman has more faith. Like, I think this Batman is still... This was confusing, I don't know. Because, like, this Batman... In Justice League Batman, the theatrical cut thing, he doesn't kill anyone. Because by that point, he's like, yeah, because they decide, okay, he won't kill anyone. In this film, I think after Batman v Superman, after his dark moments in that film, he's like, decides, stop killing. And I think that's the case here. Besides parademons, but everyone kills parademons. Like, I don't think he kills anymore at this point. Because he talks a bit more how he is... Like, Alfred's like, how do you know Superman will come to help at the end in the final battle? And he's like, faith, Alfred, I have faith. So he's like, he's being a bit more of a hopeful Batman a little bit, which, like, I think works better with his character. It's more in line with his character than it was in the theatrical cut. So, yeah, there's that. What else? So, yeah, he's great. He's great. I like that we got to see a better Ben Affleck Batman here, rather than the version we got in the Whedon cut. And I'm glad to come back for the Flash movie for however long he's in there and such. But yeah. Oh yeah, another thing I want to mention: Steppenwolf's hand. I know it's not a random thing to talk about, but Steppenwolf's hand's really weird. Like, why? So he has 5 fingers like this, but then on this side of his hand, the opposite side of his thumb, there's these 2 smaller additional fingers, like here. So he has 7 fingers. So he has 14 fingers altogether. Like, what is the purpose of these 200 fingers on the side of his hand? What do they do? What do they act as? What's the point of that? I don't get that. It's so random. It just looks silly to me. Like, why is there 2 additional fingers there? It looks weird. I've run out of everything to talk about. You know, Superman's entrance when he comes to save the day at the end, help them fight Steppenwolf was pretty cool. How he lands right in front of Steppenwolf before he cuts Cyborg in half and says, "Not impressed," and then he freeze breaths his axe. And yeah, it was cool to see them also just look at Darkseid and them looking back at him after they decapitate Steppenwolf, and then all just looking back at each other like kind of like no one's speaking, but they're kind of looking at him like, nah, but like, yeah. I don't know, so many things. Like, I know I'm not talking about everything. There's stuff like the anti-life equation has a part in it where Darkseid really embedded it into the Earth. Oh yeah, that's something stupid I want to mention. So, why do they not remember that Earth is where the Mother Box are? Because in the film, Steppenwolf says, "Oh, the song I found out, Earth, this is the planet that fought back all these years ago. Like, this is the planet that Darkseid couldn't conquer." I'm like, don't we already know this crap? Like, what? Why do you think these 3 Mother Boxes are here? You left those 3 Mother Boxes all those years ago on this planet that fought back. So why are you surprised when he learns that through communicating with the Mother Boxes that the anti-life equation is on this planet? He's like, oh my god, this is the planet that fought back all those centuries ago. Like, shouldn't you notice? Like, why? Do you just think there's these random Mother Boxes on this planet? No, like, why do you think that? Like, why are you all surprised that, oh, Earth, it's the planet that fought back, the anti-life equation? Like, no, you should know this is the planet that fought back. God damn it. Oh my god. Gee. I lose my voice and I'm ranting a bit, like, god damn it. So, in turn, the people of Apocalypse, Steppenwolf, Darkseid, you're idiots. Like, why do you not know this is the planet that fought back? The 3 Mother Boxes are here, you should know this is the planet that fought back, not be surprised by that. Like, I don't know, I've probably forgotten to mention something, like, oh yeah, Lois is pregnant, it's an afterthought, they don't even focus on it, really. Like, I didn't even realize that, like, Snyder had to explain it, and I had to watch a video of him explain it, saying, actually, Lois was pregnant. I'm like, what? Apparently there's a point in the film when she gets her reporter badge out of a drawer, and there's a pregnancy test there saying, oh, she's pregnant, and I'm like, what? And it's seen in the movie, when, of course, Batman buys the Kent house back from the bank and such, part in where you see Lois carrying a baby cradle, which Snyder explained that that's supposed to represent his baby, and at the end of the film, Batman says, by the way, congratulations, by the way, and I thought he was saying congratulations because, you know, we got engaged now with Lois, but no, because she's pregnant, which, like, it's such an afterthought. It's almost not even touched upon in the movie, like, I think I've covered every possible thing I can. If I missed something, my bad. I don't know. Look, overall, like I said, I give it a 5 out of 10. It's slightly better than the Joss Whedon cuts. Like, it's a more coherent and better looking film. Because the visuals are great, the music's better, CGI is better in some areas. Green screen time is not great. There's also one point where you see a CGI Cyborg's face. Doesn't look good. But like, it's not a better film. I don't think it is. I never thought it was going to be, and I was right. You know, it was an average film, so that was at least good. It's the best, I guess, it could have been, so I should be happy about that at least. But I don't think it's going to be. Like, honestly, to talk about the Whedon cut quickly, there are things in that film I genuinely thought were good. Like, I did like this more brighter tone you have to this universe. Like, honestly, because to me, like, especially near the end of the film when you see all these heroes just looking at Darkseid through the portal, they're all these, like, dark, especially, like, Superman's in his black suit, Aquaman's got this very dark suit, everyone's in these dark suits looking at Darkseid in this dark backdrop. I'm like, this is not really what I imagined to see all the superheroes like. Like, I think it worked better in the Whedon cut. There was, like, some more bright colors to this and such. I like also the final battle had a more red sky, because it helped the characters in these dark costumes pop out more in the final battle. I thought the red skies worked there. Like, you know, I did like there was a little bit more humor. Not all the humor worked in the Whedon cut, not even close, but some I liked, though. And I did like stuff like honestly, I know a lot of people rip this scene apart for being like it's bad CGI and it's dumb. Like the opening scene of Whedon's cut where Batman's on the roof fighting that guy and countering that parademon. I admit it's dumb because like he openly discusses his identity to Alfred over the intercom of that thug right next to him, and he lets the thug go also. Like, I mean, yeah, it's dumb that part, but I think prior up to that part, the rest of it I thought, this is very Batman, like just him on a rooftop stalking this criminal and like catching him and like almost threatening to drop him off a building. Like I thought that felt very Batman to me. I don't know, and also the after credit scene in the first movie with Flash Superman racing was a very fun scene, and Superman was much more lighthearted and cheerful. Honestly, I don't care what you say. Superman, despite I'm losing my mind. Despite the fact that the CGI mouth, I thought it was at his best, like maybe second best Man of Steel, but I thought it was at his best probably in Justice League. It was very bright and cheerful, very Superman-esque. But he felt too like vindictive and like a bit too grim in this version when he's fighting Steppenwolf, because like constantly during the final battle with Steppenwolf, he keeps just like punching him on the ground and heat vision, punch him on the ground, heat vision, punch him on the ground, heat vision. And I'm just like, this is brutal for you, man. I'm like, oh my god, this is brutal. I don't know. I haven't gone on for long enough. I don't know how long I've been talking for. At least an hour. Definitely been an hour. It's probably definitely been an hour. Overall, 5 out of 10. So that's my piece in these two films. I like stuff in the Whedon cut, but I don't think it's a good movie. It's a typical bad flick. This one's a slightly better film. There are some good stuff. There are some cool fight sequences. The score is great. The cinematography is great. The acting is great, but plot is ridiculous a lot of time. There's so many things that just like I certainly forgot to talk about something in this whole video, but it's a 4-hour movie. You can't blame me for forgetting something. The last thing I'll say honestly is just like Avengers Endgame was 3 hours long. Yet that feels easier to get through. It feels like much more of a breeze to sit through that. It feels like very more focused, that one, and not kind of all over the place. This one, not so much, because an extra hour on it, and I'm like, ugh. Okay, whatever. That's my whole piece in these films. So I said what I liked about this film and what I didn't. I said what I liked about the Whedon cut and what I didn't like about the Whedon cut. Do I want to see them restore Snyderverse? That Warner Brothers are saying no, they're not going to restore it. Everyone's sad about that. I don't want to see it. Because from hearing ideas about Snyder's version, like the sequel is going to be set in the Nightmare realm entirely, and also Batman was going to sacrifice himself to stop Darkseid once and for all. And then Superman Lois' kid was going to grow up. After 20 years later, after Batman dies, he grows up. They take him to the Batcave, and then he inherits Batman's mantle. He was not going to have any superpowers also at all. So I'm like, really, that's ridiculous, Snyder. It's a bit goofy. That's another thing I forgot to mention also. Like, this is what I don't... This is the final thing, I swear, the final thing. What I don't like about, this Snyder's whole... What I'm not a fan of is just how this feels like too much, like, for the first... Like, the beginning... Like, this was... Like, let's say this version of Justice League did come out back in the day. Like, this feels too much for this DC shared universe. Like, because they were trying to play catch up to Marvel. That was obvious. This feels too much. Like, seriously, like, why? I want this. Feel like the equivalent of like this. All feels like the equivalent of doing like in terms of Marvel. It feels like if Marvel did what they're doing, because Snyder wanted to do like so he did this film and then he was gonna have the Nightmare sequence, which would be all a second film. For Marvel, that's the equivalent of doing the first Avengers to then Infinity War or Endgame. Like it just. This is just too much of a story. Like this is not what I want as my first major story for the Justice League on the big screen. Like I want like a simple story that unites these characters together, not like such a big grand one where it's like setting up more future storylines, like all this like depressing. Like really, I don't want this first big trilogy of Justice League to be like already so dead centered on this like nightmare future where the world's crap and so many heroes are dead and Superman's a bad guy. Like. Why do we want that as our first... And like also, this film, for Justice League, like, we want the whole of Justice League. We don't want all of them except Superman until the end. Like, seriously, Justice League, I want everyone here. Like, you want all of them here, not just... Like, that's why I hate Batman v Superman. They killed Superman at the end. Because, like, then he's not in half of Justice League. He's like... Like, if you want to see, like... I've seen Justice League, the origin story for Justice League, done better in other forms. Like, look at the Justice League cartoon. Like, the three-parter to the series premiere to Justice League, the cartoon, that was a better introduction to that Justice League, I think, there. If you want to see a good Justice League film that handles introducing all the characters well, but has a good coherent story that works, check out the animated film Justice League New Frontier. That's a good animated film for Justice League. That works very well. But this is just not what I wanted to see as, like, the first major... So I kind of like the Whedon... Like, I'm not saying... I do prefer this one over... Like, I mean, I don't know which I prefer. Like, this is slightly better than Whedon's cut, but, like, what I do like about Whedon, the theatrical cut, is that it at least was not as crazy going forward with this whole nightmare thing. Like, I don't know, this is just not what I wanted as, like, the first major storyline of the Justice going forward in movies. But plus, this film's not canon anyways to the universe, so doesn't matter. So, whatever. My voice is so sore, I've been talking for so long, this is definitely not a long video. So, still shorter than the actual film, so, yeah. Whatever. So, yeah. Overall, not, like I said, 5 out of 10. Just not really what I wanted to see as the first major storyline of Justice League. Because yeah, like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna explain this again. Because yeah, you want the Justice League. You want the whole league, like everyone, including Superman. Like you want, you want Green Lantern also. You want him there at least, or like something like Martian Manhunter. You want like 7 members. Like, that's usually who's in the comics, like 7 members of the league to start off with. But you don't get that. Like, I just didn't want, for both films, I can't believe we had a Justice League film that was like, Superman's barely in it. Like, it's kind of dumb to me. Whatever, I'm going on too long, should end the freaking video by now. So yeah. Overall, 5 out of 10, it's like an average film, good stuff, it's half good, half bad. That's me being very generous there. Snyder Cut fans are gonna just rip me a new one in the comments and hate me. I don't care. I really don't care. This is my opinion. You have your opinions. That's perfectly fine because you guys got your film. I'll say that at least. Like, it's very impressive that fan outcry did get this film made. That, I will say, is very impressive. That shows the power of fans saying, and that studios are willing to listen to fans saying, okay, we'll give you this cut. So, like, I will say that is impressive. So, yeah. So you guys got your cut. Congratulations. You're happy now. So yeah, and some of you do like the film, perfectly fine. That's your opinion. My opinion, I just didn't like it that much. I didn't think it was gonna be that great. So, but these are our opinions. So yeah. So I'm gonna end it now. Finally, I'm gonna let you guys leave. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Tell me in the comment section down below, what did you think of the Snyder Cut? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Whatever. So yeah, thank you all for watching. And I'll see you guys later for the next Geek Culture Talk soon or whenever. So yeah, I'll see you all later for the next one. So yeah, whatever. God damn it. So yeah, I'll see you guys all later. Goodbye.